A seventh U.S. service member is now dead, succumbing to their injuries from a March 1st attack on Saudi Arabia. All of these deaths are once again the responsibility of Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump, and the GOP and Republican Party politicians who will not say no and stop this conflict, which was not needed and was unjustified. It is squarely on their shoulders. Squarely. The service member has not been identified. It usually takes about 24 hours to notify next of kin before that takes place. I know you've probably seen reports about hundreds of U.S. soldiers dying, and we're just not hearing about it. I personally cannot get behind that, because that would mean that every other person at those bases was keeping their mouth shut about people dying, their friends, their coworkers, their fellow military service members dying, and were not saying anything to family. There's usually a comms blackout for about 24 hours, so next of kin can be notified. But if hundreds of soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen had been killed, we would have known about that. And through family members, through friends, because people are still in touch with people out in the Gulf right now and checking on them to make sure that they're safe, there would have been notifications to representatives of people dying. I cannot get behind that. These things kind of happen during conflicts, and I just won't. I'm not saying that there could not be deaths that we don't know about yet, especially special operations units, operators. If something has happened there, that is usually, there's more of a close, a tighter lid on those things. But if some of these attacks, retaliatory attacks on these countries hitting bases, had resulted in deaths on those bases, we would have heard about them. I honestly do believe that. I do not think that everybody up the chain, from NCOs, again, coworkers, NCOs, officers, colonels, leaders, all the way up, would just sit on that for the benefit of this administration. People who are working on the bodies, medical technicians, you name it. That is a massive group of people who would be involved in this and working on this. And I don't think that's the case. I do not think that is the case. Again, if it's a very close, small unit and something has happened, and I'm not saying that has happened, that would be easier for them to contain if they were willing to do that. But when we talk about these massive strikes, I do not think that has happened. But again, a seventh U.S. military service member has died, succumbing to their injuries from a March 1st attack on Saudi Arabia because of Benjamin Netanyahu, Donald Trump, and the current Republican Party of politicians who are allowing this to happen for no reason, for no justification, sending our men and women out to die for them, to avoid accountability for Epstein, avoid accountability for genocide, for corruption, and to line their pockets with oil and gas leases and minerals from what they hope is a new leadership that will do whatever they want in Iran. They have opened this fucking door, and men and women of our military are paying the price while they sit in very comfortable, very cushy spaces away from the conflict, very secure, very safe. They are sending men and women to die for them. Not for this country, not for the Constitution, not for our protection. It is for themselves, as a distraction and a way to line their fucking pockets.